I saw the live-action How to Train Your Dragon movie, and I'm here to just talk about it now, I guess. Now, I'm gonna be honest, it was a good movie because it was based on How to Train Your Dragon, but, like, taking out all of the work pre-done for it, I liked the additional scenes a lot. And obviously, fucking spoilers for the movie. If you're even slightly curious, I recommend the watch. I'm gonna get into, like, how I think you should, like, the best watching experience, like, later on, but right now we're just getting my general kind of, like, thoughts out of the way, my little rants. But yeah, no, the additional scenes, there's one in specific that's just been stuck in my mind that I really like, and it is early on in the movie where the kids are in the Great Hall and Gobber has just given them the Book of Dragons, and Astrid and Hiccup are the only ones, like, left in the hall, and Astrid, in the original movie, she just fucking leaves because she's a weirdo. But in this movie, Hiccup asks a question along the lines of, like, do you think there's another way to, like, deal with the dragons? And Astrid's like, no, what the fuck, are you actually this crazy, or are you, like, pretending to be? He's like, I don't fucking know. Option 3 neither. And she goes into this rant about how he's had everything in his life handed to him. Meanwhile, she has had to work for every single thing she's had. She's had to prove herself, and how she is looking out to become the next chief. I think the term is chieftess, but we're just gonna go with chief because that's easier for me to pronounce. So she's gonna become the next chief because she's already impressed Stoic that much. Stoic already likes her. So she's gonna be the next chief. If Hiccup doesn't, like, step up. And Hiccup's like, yeah, no, go you, honestly. My father always wanted a child like you, but instead he got me. And Astrid, like, for, like, a second or two, looks at him like, oh, I've misjudged the situation, but, like, she's at the point of the movie where she is a little too prideful to admit that, so she just, like, essentially whatevers him and walks away. I love that. I think that was a really nice addition. I don't know, it makes what she does later, where she's willing to, like, let him kind of explain this whole dragon situation. To me, it adds, like, just a tiny bit more context onto why she would do that. Because I feel like in the original movie, she didn't have a lot of that. She just kind of went along with it. Because she was, like, hanging at the top of a tree that, honestly, she could have easily climbed down. It's Astrid. I don't put it past her to know how to climb down from that. Now, this was more of a change to the scene, but I want to mention it. In the... God, I forget what it's called. But when Hiccup goes to fight the monstrous nightmare, and it all goes awry, and, Toothless is about to, like, get captured and stuff, Astrid, like, is, like, right there physically, like, next to Hiccup. Despite Hiccup being like, yo, my father respects you, don't ruin your fucking reputation if something happens, right? And she's like, no, fuck you, I'm sticking by you. And she does. Stoic turns at him and goes, like, what? I don't even think he says anything to Hiccup. I can't honestly fucking remember, but I do remember what he said to Astrid, which is like, I would have never thought you would do this, or something along those lines, right? I don't know. I liked it. Speaking of Astrid and Hiccup, oh my god, was Hiccup miscast? I don't know if he was miscast or if they took out, because they took a lot of his dorky lines and, like, dorky mannerisms. I don't know if it's because of that, or if a different actor could have made it work and still be dorky. I think they took his dorky away. He could have been way more dorky. I think he should have been way more dorky, actually, but he wasn't. But oh my god, the actress that plays Astrid, I don't know her name. I feel so bad. She was incredible. Like, I come home and my sister's like, oh, how did you like the movie or whatever? And I'm like, I think Hiccup's, like, too, like, the guy that plays Hiccup's, like, too old. He didn't, like, fucking convince me. He wasn't, like, dorky enough. And she's like, okay, how old do you think he is? I'm like, early, like, 20s. And she goes, okay, how much do you think the girl that plays Astrid is? And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, they're the same age. She was in The Last of Us. And I'm like, what? Like, convince me she was 15. The costuming, like, the acting, I don't know. It just convinced me way more than Hiccup. Hiccup just should have been somebody else. That's all I have to say. But yeah, I really adored Astrid's performance and what she brought to the character. Like, it felt like Astrid was her favorite character growing up. That could be true or not. I don't know. I'm just trending. I'm not fact-checking anything I'm saying. This is not that kind of channel. But yeah, I don't know. I adored the actress that played Astrid, personally. She's really good, and you can tell that she loved playing this character and that she wanted to play this character, and that is, like, so important to me, personally, as somebody who grew up with the movie and would have been ecstatic if I ever got that opportunity. Not that I would, but yeah. As for the other actors, everybody was serviceable. I really liked Roughnut's actress. I think she did a really good job. And Tough Nut. I think Tough Nuts was also pretty well. I don't really have any complaints from anybody else. Don't really have any praises for anybody else. But the acting was, in general, very okay. Especially when it came to interacting with the dragons. I'm curious if they had, like, kind of how what they did with Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where they had props to stand in for the characters to make it a little easier. Like, I wonder if that was the case. Not enough to, like, Google it, but, like, if anybody knows, I would like, I would like to be informed. But I think that's about it, honestly. Romantic Flight was a little bit butchered, but I was expecting that. I didn't expect to hate this movie, but I also didn't expect to, like it. Because for me to like a How to Train Your Dragon thing, I must also like the dragons, to, like, some degree. You know, it's why the Dragons, the Nine Realms has slowly gotten to me, because the characters in, like, the first 2 seasons are, like, fine, and the dragon concepts are interesting, so, like, that's how that got to me, right? But I don't know, this movie just was not, didn't have the dragons just weren't it. Like, Toothless could not emote. Like, while in the theater, I was, like, texting one of my How to Train Your Dragon friends, and I was, like, every couple minutes, I was like, oh my god, Toothless, you cannot emote. Please don't even try, buddy. But he tried. He tried. You guys know my opinion on the dragon designs, and my opinion is that they're shit. So there's that. A few addendums that I forgot to put in because I'm stupid. Okay, so addendum number 1. I was informed in the comments of my original Dragon video that actually this movie was mostly either on-set locations or constructed sets, and honestly, fucking go. It looked really nice. Point number 2 I forgot to bring up. The prosthetics. The prosthetics were really cool. The ones from the original movie and the new ones. There were a lot of, and the Great Hall scene, where Styx trying to convince them to go back to, like, find the nest again. There's a good few people with prosthetics and, like, all throughout the movie, but that's when, like, I noticed a lot of it. Yeah, really cool. They had, because I said in the credits, they had specific people designing the prosthetics. I loved that. The prosthetics looked super cool. Note number 3, I don't know if it was, like, a trailer thing or if they went back and fixed it after all the damn backlash, but Toothless did hesitate. There was, like, a moment where, you know, he had his moment, he goes forward, he goes back a little, and then goes forward again. Like, that was in the movie. I paid close attention. I saw it. I swear it's there. Maybe it wasn't there for the trailer for whatever reason. Do I have another point? I don't think I have another point. Now, as I said at the start, it's not a bad movie, but if you're, like, a super fan of the franchise, I wouldn't recommend you watch it alone, because I feel like it would be less fun if you sat there and watched. Like, I might have went to watch it alone, but I was, like, texting my friend while doing it that knew that is around the same dragon head level as me, and I was just, like, ranting to him. So I feel like if you want to watch this, gather a couple of your How to Train Your Dragon fandom friends, but specifically the friends that are in the fandom. I don't think people that would just like the movie would particularly mind this, but yeah, definitely people in the fandom. Get them together and just, like, have a little silly fun viewing. I feel like you would have a lot more fun that way. So at the end of the day, wasn't a particularly bad movie. it was a pretty decent adaptation as far as live action adaptations of animated properties go. The added scenes were neat. I adored them. Would I recommend watching it? If you're going to judge it and you're already interested, yes. If you don't care for it and you don't particularly you're not particularly curious, then no, I don't think you're gonna get. I don't think the average normal movie fandomer is gonna get anything from it. Just wait until the clips of those added scenes get released. That's it. That was the rant. Goodbye. Thank you for letting me rant.